visionaries, and there's a difference.
To summarize, the APC is not bullying any opposition party. The opposition parties are simply just weak. I mean, how do you react to that?
I think it's very interesting that for somebody who says, and Mr. Sunday Dare says he's a Democrat and a politician, and all those charming, well, you're not a politician, but you're strictly involved in politics. I think that 26 years later, I think what should be paramount is deepening and strengthening our politics, is strengthening our institutions, is ensuring that from loose arrangements we start to forge ideological political parties that speak to the needs of the Nigerian people. And so when a person says to me that a governor who was elected on a particular platform can just move against the Electoral Act, against a pronouncement of the Supreme Court, which of course we're still dilly-dallying and shilly-shallying over, it really shocks me. Because I think it's not the fault of the APC, but it is actively supported by APC and just said by you as well. So what I'm saying in essence is that, I think that we all the actors in the political space have a responsibility to Nigerians to entrench true democratic ideals in a way that makes sure that the political parties act as filters as we start to look at the gatekeepers of our democratic experiment. I think that whether you're APC or PDP or whatever, when the Nigerians speak about us, they speak about us with one tar brush. And I think that we need to go back and do a lot of housekeeping about what kind of politics are we offering the Nigerian people in the hope that we can give them the governance that they deserve. And, I would rest my case on that, but I think that there's an active weaponization of state institutions against the opposition. I do.
All right. We're going to pause here for a moment and open the conversation up. The rules are quite simple. You must stay on the topic, and you have to keep it light. 2 minutes maximum. State your name and go directly to the point. We'll try as much as we can in the next 10-15 minutes to get as many respondents as we can. And if you have any question directed at the panel, because we understand Mr. Dare has to be somewhere. So I'm going to start with people who have any question that they would like him to respond to. Is there anyone? Okay. Anyone has a question for the Special Advisor on Policy Communication? Okay. Can we pass the microphone to the gentleman in the yellow vest?
Is the man in the yellow vest?
Yes.
Don't call Buba. Buba will speak for 10 minutes. The man in the yellow vest. Gentleman in the yellow vest. No mic.
Okay. Just before we get to him, the one person, I believe Malam Umar Farouk, said that, Mr. Dare, you said, quote, democracy thrives in the atmosphere of economic fairness. Can you elaborate on the establishment of, gold refinery, the private gold refinery in Lagos, and why that is? Refineries, where are the refineries within the northern region, he says, I believe. I hope I captured the question.
Gold refinery.
Yes.
Well, I'm not the Minister of Solid Minerals, but I did read a very strong rebuttal from the Ministry of Solid Minerals, explaining very clearly that it's a private refinery, bringing out the profile of the woman who owns the refinery and how she grew that refinery in the past 10 years. And there are pictures of the woman, of the refinery itself. It's private, strictly private, and government has no hand in it. And I know that, licenses have been issued, some have been cancelled, they're being reissued. So the question of the federal government setting up that refinery in Lagos, perhaps in the southwest, doesn't arise. That rebuttal is straight to the point, it's factual, and I think that would be my response to that.
Okay, any more contributions? Okay. Okay, please go ahead, the Publicity Secretary of the PDP.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ini, a member of National Publicity Secretary, PDP. First is to my big brother, Dare, who said that the political space has not been constricted. I'd like to ask that, considering the fact that you agree that democracy is a destination and democratization is the journey, and when you speak about the journey of the APC, you seem to speak about it from just 2023, and you admit that you took a fractured economy. Remember that APC was there 8 years before 2023. So tie that to consolidation of democracy. Tie that to the fact that people no longer trust the judiciary. Tie it to the politicization of the judiciary and the judicialization of politics. Tie that to the fact that clearly you have a minister in your administration who openly sits on television and says a president saved a governor in this administration. Tie that to the fact that there is absence of consequences. When you speak about GDP, please tie it to the fact that you meet everyday Nigerians, and when you interact with them, do they reflect the economy that you speak about, the GDP? Those are the things I want you to speak to.
All right.
Thank you so much. The identifier is very important. The Publicity Secretary of the PDP. And I wouldn't expect anything lesser than that. And you straddle between a question and, of course, a submission. You piled in so many things. Yes, there's no denial about it. The APC has been in government for close to 11 years. And we're unafraid to do an audit of the APC government in 11 years. But also, we're also bold to look at, because Nigeria is a work in progress, we're also able to look back to say the APC took over from the PDP. Somebody was in charge of the shop for 16 years. Somebody was supposed to have provided the rail transportation. Somebody was supposed to have improved our electricity with $16 billion. Somebody was supposed to have improved our airports, improved our schools for 16 years. And that somebody failed. And that's the PDP. It takes time for reforms to grow. So, in 11 years, have we seen this country improve? On the democratic level, yes. But we talk about the judiciary. And what we're seeing in the judiciary today is not particular to the APC in government. Reforms of the judiciary, the calls for that reform have been on for a long time. My sister has talked very eloquently about the legislature. We have the former Senate president here. I've never been a lawmaker. But you also know very clearly that every incorrect to want to simply label them as rubber stamp. Just imagine the Constitution, 109 senators, 362 House of Rep members, 360, and you say they're entirely rubber stamp. These are representatives of the people. And we have seen them in the last 2.5, 3 years pass laws that have benefited Nigerians, no doubt. Nations take loans. Nations do take loans. America is heavily in debt. This administration is taking loans it can justify. It can point to projects for which there's loans. So I think it's important. There are a few things you raised here that are personal. I want to stay on substance. But I know that the work of building this nation is a continuous one. Every administration inherits liabilities and assets. And I dare say that every government that comes in place tries its best to make sure it meets the challenges head on. Is the APC doing that? Absolutely. Okay. Are problems over? No. But I challenge everyone here to say, look at where we were 2023, 2022, and look at where we were now. Just take simply the unification of Forex. The arbitrage, 70%. The stability that has been brought into that entire forex market. Take 20 years of fuel subsidy, the bleeding that took place, and where we are now, freeing up the resources for the subnationals.
Okay.
60% increase, etc.
All right.
Let's stay with the facts and leave the noise aside.
Okay. I suppose inadvertently, the Tinubu administration has become the backdrop to our conversation this afternoon. But let's proceed. Your contribution, sir.
Yeah, thank you. My name is Comrade Issa Aremu. I'm the Director General of the Premier Labour Institute in Ilorin. I have a short comment for Mr. Sunday Dare. But before then, let me say there's something that has been working, which I thought all the panelists will have recognized since we started this republic. I think it's daily trust.